Hello, my name's Fox Knight. So again, I'm at Fox, and I need to catch up. I'm like 3 episodes behind. So I'm gonna do the 3 episodes now. I have like my notes. I'm gonna have to really, really go over these. Okay, so was it episode 3? God, I don't even remember the episode names. Hold on, I have a computer right next to me. I can use this as help. Okay, so episode 3, which was The Lions of Ember. Let me see, Lions of Ember. I remember it opens up with Fionna and Cake. It opens up with what seems like the time, like, okay, they're really going into, especially like the 2 episodes later where they bring into it, that it looks like Fiona's past is still being rewritten or something along the lines, because I'm gonna be mixing it, but like this episode, which is episode 6. In episode 6, Fionna or Cake and Huntress actually go like through time using Finn's or Fiona's old tree house, and going through time, like they see what it originally was, and then when Simon's like brain retcon happened, and then it created the coffee shop AU version. So like we see like I was gonna say it's the last adventure, but it looks like everything kind of changes when they eventually go to the timeline. So maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be like there's a link between like separating the 2 timelines, kind of. I don't know. But pretty much we see Fionna and Cake going to the Ice Queen, where Flame Prince is being kidnapped and used as like a power for a mech suit, mech thing, and eventually Fionna does get her, which one, it's really funny because Fionna goes like, Cake tries to attack Ice Queen freezes Cake, and then Fionna goes, no one hurts Cake, grabs Cake and uses her as a weapon, hurting her, but pretty much she eventually does save Ice Prince, gets him out. Icicle seems to land on her, about to kill her, but then time switches to Coffee AU, and she's actually on the side of the road, sidewalk, worried about like a job she was late for, runs, bumps into Flame Prince, and Flame Prince is like, oh, look at that. And yeah, kind of pissed her off. Fionna, let's see. Also, Fiona's buff as hell. 50k to buy the sweet spot back. Right. Let's see. Glor buys. Oh yeah, because there's like Glor, like the big red thing that Simon's girlfriend became. Like the eyes are painted on the wall still in the past, because yeah. Let's see. Captured Flame Prince. Glor buys. Looks like Fionna world changed to the coffee in the middle of saving Flame Prince. Again, I think that's now showing that there's more to that going on with this episode that's right behind me. So, let's see. Prismo, Bug Guy, Cosmic Owl. Oh yeah, they're watching like the different timelines right now. And pretty much like Scarab, he brings up, because he sees Huntress become like the little plant thing and is dying pretty much in Fiona's potted plant. She's not getting any water. She's like constantly trying to reach for water, but but she can barely ever touch it or reach it. And Scarab's like, Prismo, shouldn't you be stopping this crossover thing? And Prismo's like, nah, man, leave it alone. That's not our jurisdiction. He's like, what the fuck do you mean it's not our jurisdiction? Our jurisdiction is the multiverse. And he's like, no. See, this is our jurisdiction. And he shows like the multiverse thing. He's like, this is the shit she's dealing with. And then you see like green, like it switches to like a map of like green vines like going around the different plant things and stuff like that. And the Scarab's like, what the fuck is that? He's like, and Prismo's like, not our problem. He's like, okay. And that's why Scarab's like, let's see. Huntress Wizard across the multiverse. Across the multiverse is beyond the multiverse. Also back home, pretty much to cover that story thing. Fionna and Marceline are trying, or not Fionna, Princess Bubblegum and Marceline are trying to figure out how to stop. I'm trying to think. They're trying to figure out how to save Finn. They're going through all the tests or whatever. Eventually, princesses all start coming. They're like, we know what happened. We know what we have to do. We all have to kiss Finn because only his one true love will save him. And I'm just like, everyone's like, I'm like, damn. Well, this was a kid who, like, I'm pretty sure was always trying to get Princess Bubblegum and all this stuff. And now, like, every princess, as a guy, every princess wants it. But they're like, we have to give him true love's kiss and that'll save him. And pretty much at one point, Marcelin's like, PB, they're breaking down the door. They're doing all this shit. We should just let them try. PB's like, fine, whatever, I guess. Starts letting them all in. They all kiss and nothing happens. And one boy's like, here, let me do it. Let me use a little more tongue. It's like, no, get the fuck out. Eventually, we see one princess come in a big suit of armor, big boy. I'm like, damn. And then it turns out it's Flame Princess, which is like, yeah, because there's also a running thing between the two timelines. Because if I'm remembering the episodes correctly, because again, it's been like 2 weeks since I saw these. Anyways, pretty much the Flame Princess kisses Finn. Flame goes up. It looks like, oh, maybe it works. And it's like, of course it's not. But there is, and, like, it doesn't work, and it was like, well, you know, that worked or whatever, that tried. Also, Marceline does tell Finn, like, if you die, I'll kill you! Which I love that. I always love that joke. True Love's kiss to revive him. And while that's all going on, Fionna in the coffee shop they have to raise, I think it was $50K for the sweet spot, to buy the sweet spot back. On top of that, if I remember correctly, she writes down, like, the plan of, like, how to save the sweet spot on the back of a paper that's, like, rent is overdue or whatever, or eviction notice. So, pretty much, Fiona's getting kicked out of her destroyed apartment, which I'm just like, I feel like she, like, I just thought about, like, it's an apartment building, and it's her apartment. Shouldn't she be able to tell the owner of the apartment, like, hey, there's a hole in the side of my house. You have to fix that. I'm just realizing now, like, couldn't she have just told the landlord that? Then he has to come and try to fix it or try to do that. Like, I feel like there's something you could do here. Fionna shouldn't have to be trying to fix her own apartment. Is what I'm guessing. Is what I'm saying. Let's see here. Beyond the Vine, everyone wants the older Finn. And so Fionna pretty much trying to think of, like, okay, what are we going to do? And she's like, okay, I'm going to go talk to Hunter, and Hunter is going to help me find a venue so that way we can start, so we could do, try to figure this out. And she finds Hunter, like, up in a tree cutting a thing, and Hunter's like, hey, like, they talk, and he's like, look, yeah, I'll set up a board meeting with the parks people. You go just talk with them, and hopefully they'll give you a venue, because their idea is obviously to have, like, a bake sale / show. That way then they can raise the funds to then save the sweet spot. And Hunter's, like, cutting down trees, and the tree is like, all right, like, he's like, yeah, we'll do this, whatever. He's like, all right, but stand back, this stuff will fall on you. Cuts a branch lands on top of Fionna, and Fionna goes, ah! Because she walks it forward, and you just hear Hunter go, mierda! And I'm like, Spanish, cool. And then Fiona's like, no, I'm fine. Like, okay, that's it, talk to you later. And she runs off, runs into Flame Prince. I'm never calling them their human names. Let me see here. PB can't bring back at the brink of death. Oh, God, I forgot about that too. When they were cut back to when they're talking about, like, the true love's kiss or whatever, there's some, like, I don't want to say out of pocket lines, but they're like, oh, okay. But it's really funny because PB's like, oh my God, trying to bring someone back to life with the brink of a kiss. Brink of a kiss is trying to bring someone back from the brink of death with a kiss. A kiss can't bring back someone from the brink of death with a kiss, whatever. And Marcy goes, that's not what you said last night. It's like, damn. And then PB goes, I did say that. And I'm like, God damn, okay. Fionna stealing people's drinks. Oh yeah. Then also, like, she runs into Flame Prince, talks with him a little bit, and I can't remember if it's specifically like Flame Prince. And Flame invites her to the club that he's playing at. And Fiona's like, oh my god, I might be able to get back with him. And like, yeah, obviously there's feelings there. She goes to the place, and it turns out Flame Prince is dating the Fiona's Fern, who's literally just Green Fiona. Which also, another thing I actually kind of really like, I don't remember if it's like this in the first season or not. Fiona's world is more like, it's like it's still the coffee shop AU, but it does feel like after like Glob or whatever, and maybe whatever, I don't know. It does feel like a little bits of ooh are slowly leaking back in, like a little bit of the crazy is leaking back into this world. And we'll get more into that kind of in a minute. But yeah, Fionna sees a Flame Prince call up his girlfriend, who's dressed exactly like Fionna, but green and has like a flower. And she's like, drinks her drink, drinks another person's drink. Also, she came with cake and the black version of Rainicorn. Can't remember his name. Umbracorn. They go there. He's like, I'm not into this. He leaves. Cake is like, oh shit. Also, Cake like makes herself like as curvy as possible. And she's like, oh shit, I gotta go save this. Runs after. Fennel was a Fern girl name, and Fionna just gets stupid drunk. Fionna was Hunter. Fionna gets super drunk, goes to Hunter, and like sees Hunter, tries to talk with him, drunk. And she tries to kiss him, and Hunter's like, no, we're not doing that. You are drunk. You are drunk. You are not thinking straight. And she's like, I'm thinking straight. And then she starts crying, and she kind of runs off. Also, while this is all going on, Hunter's Wizard is dying in this potted plant, like, fuck! Like, she's reaching, trying to grab water, and like she's slowly dying. Fionna eventually comes home crying, and I can't remember if she specifically talked to the plant, because like, I can't do anything right or whatever, but she holds her head over it, and her tears fall onto Hunter's Wizard, which I think salty tears would be bad for a plant, but okay, whatever. She's like, oh shit, and she starts drinking that water, and that helps her start to grow. Let's see. Well, my stupid flock. Let's see. Prismo was glitching. I can't remember if it's this one or the next one where Marceline and PB and Simon decide like, hey, we gotta go. Let's talk to Prismo, and we just wish for Finn to be better. They go to Prismo, and Prismo's like, yeah, Scarab, can you go check on this thing? And he's like, I guess. And he leaves, and Prismo's like, look, I can't make wishes. I'm glitching. I don't know what's going on. And they're like, what? And then the Scarab has to come back. He's like, why did you make me go check that? And he's like, oh, nothing. Anyways, I solved your problem. Bye. And wishes the other, and then sends PB, Simon, and, PB, Simon, and Marceline back. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Also, like, there was like the bad guy from the Farm Finn world where he has a death dream that his son would kill him, and then he wakes up to his son killing him. It's like, damn, that was quick. Marshall's mom called from an unknown number. Oh yeah, Marshall's mom is still trying to call from an unknown number. Doesn't he's like, oh, what the hell? Hangs up, closes the phone. Let's see, Hunts. And then we also do get a backstory about Hunter's Wizard. A little bit more of a backstory where this is before she tries to learn magic, where a huntsman and like his wife are living in the forest. I believe they did want a baby, but they couldn't. But they go out there and they find this little green creature that like reaches out with roots that absorbs like the life out of like living animals and shit, or out of meat. So they bring her home. They try to feed her, and like this creature has no mouth, but then eventually she goes, ah. Like her mouth opens up like as a triangle, and then she starts eating the meat and food and stuff, other than just absorbing it with her root fingers. And eventually, the hunter teaches her how to hunt and all this stuff, and they're a loving family. But then there's like a fire that happens. The hunter takes the baby and runs out of the thing, runs back in to save his wife and her mother, and just dead. And Huntress Wizard is then left alone. And it's like, well, shit. Let's see here. Marshall, mom called from unknown number. Okay, this was the one. Prisma can't make wishes. Oh, Cake is then called in for auditions to go beyond Cheers, which that's a whole little thing where it seems like Cake is kind of. I'm trying to think of like what Cake's story is like. I guess not to be a freak of nature. I guess kind of because Cake gets called to. I guess it's probably because she wants to fit in for her boyfriend. I guess. And that's probably where that kind of is going with that. Because it is a question of like, why is she suddenly scared about like stretching? Because she goes to a cheer lock, and it's also where I'm saying like a little bit of the crazy of ooh is leaking in this, because she goes to Cheers and pretty much like the reason why they want her there is because they want her just to be stretching jokes like, wow, I can stretch into this, I can stretch into that, and Cake's like, I don't like this at all. But also, again, with that little bit of like, ooh, is starting to leak into this world, is that Cheers is literally filmed in front of a live studio audience, and also they are like tiny, like maybe smaller than Hornet back here. Actually, probably about the same size, but like, yeah, like they are tiny, probably about this big, but they are tiny, and she shrinks down, whatever. Oh, special guest, yeah. And then she's like, no, I'm not being used for just stretchy jokes. And then she kind of busts out because they were trying to, make the jokes. And then she sees the cheer duo is like, oh, mouse. And then tries to grab one. It's like, no, leave me alone. And it's like, oh, shit. And they're like, oh. And she's like, oh, shit. And she runs away. She was also planning to use the money from that to try to save the sweet spot too. But yeah. That they don't necessarily work. Let's see, Snail taking 3 minutes to get to her. Oh yeah, and while Huntress is kind of in the pot plant is starting to grow, a snail sees her and starts going towards her, and it's like 3 minutes later, and now eventually gets to her and tries to eat her. And let's see, going through Fionna and Flames dating. Oh yeah, but then she like kind of, if I remember correctly, she kills the snail and then like absorbs the power which allows her to pop out of the potted plant and start to try to like find things to eat, and eventually she starts like eating rats and stuff like that to heal herself as she slowly kind of gets bigger and bigger. Eventually, when Fionna finds her later in the episode, she's like a tiny little plant person. Let's see, Fennel. Oh, so Fennel is actually nice and actually a friend of Hunter's. When Fionna goes to Hunter and kind of like says like, oh, I don't like her or whatever, and Hunter's like, she's actually kind of a great person. Also, Flame Princess last episode said like, oh yeah, I am seeing somebody, which I'm guessing is probably going to be Fern. Let's see dead mice and call them mouse jerky. Let me see. Oh right, yeah, because eventually, when I can't remember where Fionna went. Fionna does not have it together. Let's see, Hunts. She eventually comes home and she just sees a bunch of dead rats on the table, and she's like, ooh, rat jerky. And like, why, like, does Cake do this frequently? Like, why do you, like, you're just like, okay, that there's a dead jerky rat on your table. But then she finds a little tiny Huntress who's gone feral. Also, she has no mouth again. Lemon Grab kicked Fionna in the Oh yeah, because Fionna gives her, I believe, food. Huntress eats it, becomes bigger, starts running out, and Fiona's like, oh shit! Tries to run after the dog. Like, the Lemon Grab's dog comes and grabs Huntress and starts shaking her because she's like this big now. And Fionna kicks the dog. I think kicks the dog, grabs the Huntress, and Lemon Grabs are like, oh, you kicked our dog! Runs up and just kicks her between the legs. And I'm like, I know she doesn't have the specific stuff there that hurt as much. I guess, I don't know. Maybe could hurt as much. But I'm just like, she doesn't have the kill switch that's down there. Yeah, so I'm just like, all right. But she kicks her and she's like, oh shit. And she does fall over. Or who knows. Fionna having... Also, she has... let's see. Doing stretch jokes. Ice thing. I can't remember why. I know it's apparently I wrote down Fionna at one point does like maybe it was when she got kicked between the legs. She has the Finn high pitched scream. Ah! Exposed hams near exposed. Oh yeah, because she then takes Huntress Wizard like, oh I'm sorry little green baby thing, but takes Huntress Wizard to, sees that she's like kind of dying or hungry, takes her to the store, and she's like, okay, what are we gonna get you for food? Huntress Wizard just runs and just starts eating all of like the meat things, like absorbing it with her fingers, and eventually like I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Lemon Grab. I don't think it was Lemon Grab. It was one of Fiona's bosses. And Fiona's boss was like, why are you here? And then, like, Hunter starts absorbing more meat, and she becomes adult size. And then the guy goes, ham! Exposed hams next to the hams! I can't remember if Hunter steals a bunch of meat or whatever. But she runs off into the forest. I think Cake finds them, runs after. They run into the park. Huntress Wizard goes into a tree, and Fionna calls Simon, and then Hunter's like, Simon! And like reaches for the phone, takes the phone, or gets the phone, calls and everything, and she's like, what are we doing here, whatever. And also, because Simon also told, like, PB and Marceline, like, look, we, like, Huntress Wizard has a plan, we just gotta wait for it. And then he's like, why the hell are you in Fiona's world? And Hunter's like, I'm trying to find the heart of the forest, or whatever. And then Huntress Wizard kind of I can't remember, I think she throws the phone in anger or whatever, and she breaks a Nokia phone, which I think, scales her above a lot of people in strength. I think she can beat Goku. It's like let's see here. Some points out I have churches like that outside. What the fuck did I write? Only Huntress Wizard broke a Nokia phone. Kicked out it. Oh yeah, and pretty much then like they try to go back. I can't remember if Huntress is with them, but they try to go back to. I think they do go back to Fiona's apartment, and then there's an eviction notice, and the door's locked, and she's like, "Oh shit, I'm locked out of my house," and then like that's where that episode ends. Sorry if I'm missing things. Let's see, exposed hams, but pretty much now the trio is Fionna, Cake, and Huntress, which also, I'm loving this trio, especially in this episode. It's really, really good. And, like, it's obvious, like, okay, so I'm trying to run it through, like, some of the plot lines. Like, Cake is obviously trying to get with, her future husband, who is in an alternate timeline, Rainicorn. She's trying to get with him. While that's going on, Fionna is dealing with, her getting over Flame Prince, who seems to have moved on along, and then also maybe a romance with Hunter, but then also on that same note, like Huntress is there too, and I'm like, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't matter. I was trying to think, I'm like, Huntress and Fionna wouldn't be that bad of a pairing, but I also do feel like obviously it's gonna be Hunter that she's probably gonna be with eventually in the end, but. Also, Huntress Wizard does do the mouth before then be having a mouth again. Also, we had this episode actually started with a flashback of Marshall's past, where we see that he was, his mother was a bit strict. Which, mind you, there were some things where I'm like, I kind of understand. Oh, here's my math homework. I'm gonna draw a snake across it, and it's like, I don't think you technically should be doing that if it's for a grade, but, whatever. That's where I'm but I do not like the mom eventually, just kind of being annoyed, especially when he starts playing music. And man, what was it? Just pushes Marshall out the door and gives him money, here, have some money, go do something else. But eventually he does go to, this is one I'm going to remember the most because I just saw it. He goes to the park where he hears music playing as he sees Ice Queen singing to cats, and he goes, orders ice cream, accidentally drops the ice cream, and he's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I made a mess, and Ice Cream just throws ice cream on herself, messes are fine here, gives him some new ones, I believe he gave him new ones, but anyways, hands the keyboard because he was looking at it, and he starts playing, and she starts jamming with him, pretty much showing that, there are some constants. And it seems like one of the most biggest constants in Adventure Time as a whole seems to be Simon will always be the better parent to Marceline than her actual parent. Well, other than her actual, like, I want to say actual father, because, like, you know, father and, like, his mother in this one, we don't necessarily see his father in this one. Which also, apparently, like, we meet Gumball's parents, which I'm like, well, in the version, in Adventure Time version, like, it's like the giant Gumwad that's PB's parents. Are these two technically the Gumwads? But then also the brother that's like a dragon is there, but she's like this big girl, and like she likes anime stuff. She has like the poorly drawn anime character stuff. It's really funny. And, like in chat rooms and stuff. And they have a whole little date there. And also, like, before that date, like, they both call Fionna, and Fionna has to go to, like, both of their meetings to talk with both of them about, like, their feelings, and saying, like, just go to it, just have fun. And then Fiona's like, I really have to pee after, like, drinking, like, so many drinks. And then while that's going on, Huntress Wizard is stuck in a tree. Huntress Wizard is trying to find the oldest tree there, and Fionna, before she leaves, tells they're, oh yeah, we know where the oldest tree in the town is, and she's like, and Huntress was like, okay, that must be where I need to go. They go, and it's actually the original. It's Fiona's tree. It's Finn's tree. It's the tree where the treehouse would be. Which also, I'm gonna go ahead and guess, like, best case scenario, like, because the whole thing is also like Queenie's gonna bulldoze over the sweet spot before like the week where she gave Fionna a week to do it. Also, Huntress, Fionna, and Cake are all living in the same apartment, which Cake's apartment looked very nice and neat beforehand from that one window spot, but then when you go inside, it's actually just a mess of, like, furniture and stuff, of, like, different dressers that she just lays on top of. But pretty much, they go to the tree. I'm gonna go ahead and guess, like, one big thing for this is going to be that Fiona's going to have to let the sweet spot go, because the sweet spot, like, pretty much Queenie says, like, okay, you have to pay me $70K, or, we're just going to bulldoze this entire thing, and you have to do it by Saturday now instead. And Fiona's like, okay, fine, I guess we'll do it. Leaves. She's like, well, shit. Let's talk about that first. She runs into Flame Prince, and Flame Prince goes, look, you have to, like, oh, I was trying to call you, and she's like, yeah, my phone kind of got broken because Huntress destroyed it. And pretty much they start talking a little bit. He then brings up that, like, yeah, he moved over to the towers. He doesn't really go much there. He puts most of his money into, like, his studio, where him and, like, these others are, like, playing music now. It's like a kid who can, like, rap or whatever. And feels like, wow, I believe that's, and then Flame Prince said, like, use, like, I can help you with equipment. I can help you with whatever. I just can't help you with a venue. And he said, like legit use every connection you have, is what he said. So while that's going on, again, adventure. These two are having their own team up where Huntress cuts off her hand, puts it by the tree to try to reconnect with the green. It doesn't work, and then he's like, but then she uses a leaf from it, whistles into it, which then, crossing her eyes, then creates, like, the tree to start to vibrate green. And Cake's like, what the hell is this? They both get sucked into it, and then Cake is stuck to her hand. And pretty much then, like, it's the best way I could describe it. It's the in-between place from Star Wars, where there's portals along the little magic river, which it kind of reminds me, anyways. The longest magic river, and pretty much through each of these portals is a different point in time of the tree's life. And that includes before the retcon ray or whatever the hell happened. So, like, she, like, goes and is like, oh shit, I'm in ooh, and then sees that it's actually Fionna and Cake, and Cake's like, oh, this is before everything got retconned or whatever. And then we see it become retconned. I believe that's the part we see it. Because I do know later on they go back, I think, a little bit further, and they see Marshall as a baby, like, jumping in the tree, and then we see him just a regular, falls, gets dirty. His mom walks out and is like, what are you doing, Marshall? You're not dirty. And then Cake also sees a butterfly stuck in a spider web, And also, mind you, they're always stuck in the bark. They're not like outside of it. But Cake sees like a butterfly stuck in the bark, and he's like, oh, "I've seen this movie before. We can't let the butterfly ever die." She squishes the spider that's about to kill like a butterfly. They go in. They eventually fall in the water. They jump in the water, try to use that to because Huntress can't find her way through. Jumps in the water, gets taken all the way through, and eventually kind of comes like towards the end of it. Jumps out of the tree, or tries to get out of the tree, and she finds baby Finn, who I guess over thousands of years, I guess baby Finn will never grow up because he seems like he's stuck as a baby. But he finds baby Finn and Pet Butler as like a necklace, as a, like just the charm around the baby's neck, and he's like, "Oh yeah, for thousands of years, like these like meat butterflies, whatever, these butterflies that are evil, like, and they started with five of them in this very tree, and now they've taken over because like all the city is surrounded in like webbing and shit, and like they're flying above, and like baby Finn's fighting, and Cake's like, oh shit, I fucked up." So they eventually go back in. Huntress then goes, and also mind you, like Cake is stuck to Huntress's arm. Huntress then tries to drink from the water of like that's coming from this, inside of the tree thing, and she then tastes the water and tastes like the different eras of when it happens. Like, oh, this tastes like the future. This tastes like that past. And like, so we just need to find the one that tastes like home. And eventually they go and they do find the tree back home. But then they're like, well, what the fuck do we do? And eventually she does like the whistling, like vibration thing again, which then makes her hand vibrate, which I'm guessing whatever plant matter she can kind of like merge with. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't end with Huntress just becoming like I want Huntress to still be a Huntress wizard and stuff like that and connected with things, but but I don't want it to be like she just becomes part of a tree and like pretty much what happened with Betty. I just remember her name, Betty, where it's like, oh yeah, now she's permanently a god thing. Like, I don't want her to just be permanently stuck as a tree. But she uses her whistle thing, tries to reach for it, can't. Cake goes, I got this. Reaches, and eventually she like rips through the bark, growing bigger, and eventually touches it. They get sucked in, and actually, hopefully I don't get hit with a copyright trigger. Also, there's some little graffiti in it. Also, I love these two working together, and I'm just going, yeah, go, Cake! And now they died. No. Also, Huntress got a level up, which Cake brings up that she got her horns back. So it looks like Huntress. I'm wondering if Huntress actually is the giant deer thing from the beginning of the first one. Of like in Ooh. If maybe that's like another version of her. And like she eventually becomes that. Because that's why like it looked like a deer because of her antlers thing. Maybe that's like a higher end form, or maybe that's her actual mother. Like she is the child of like whatever that green plant thing was, green deer. And also, it looks like I'm gonna guess because it looks like Cake's fur is like on her like fused with her, or a piece of Cake is out there. So I'm wondering if Hunter's gonna have like stretchy arms, or maybe that's just a new hand. Who knows? Or maybe that's just a scar where she cut herself. And just vomits Cake. Which, honestly, like, I like Huntress with, like, the mask, but I really do also like her just, like, without it. I legitimately, like, Huntress was kind of, like, an okay character beforehand. She has risen up from one to, like, a pretty much okay character to one of, like, probably my favorite Adventure Time characters. Her and Marceline are, like, my top favorite. I love Finn and Jake, don't get me wrong. Oh, well, but I think if I want to say my three top favorites, it would have to be probably Huntress right now. Huntress, Marceline, and Fionna. Those are my three favorites. Oh yeah, and those are the butterflies. I saved and endangered the future. Oh, and you leveled up.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't hard.
I'm sorry. But all that bad future stuff is gonna happen now, right?
Oh, and another big thing is that Cake, when she's going through the things and she tries to find her way out, she goes through the tree and she sees a timeline where Fionna is working for Abadir and like apparently kicked out all the squatters in her old building that's now being condemned. And Cake's like, well, poor Fifi, because Fionna doesn't look happy. And eventually, like, you know, like right here where you say like, oh, you know, it's not gonna happen now then, right? And they're like, no, like of course not. We saved the future. Or at least that version of the future, whatever.
No.
But
It won't.
and then it turns out it looks like it will happen. Also, that's a giant suit of armor.
Man.
Also, there's a giant chocolate bar in this at one point. Just a giant chocolate bar. It's like, okay, yeah, so a little bit of ooh is still in this world.
Damon, what have you
Also, this guy's been tracking Marshall this
He
entire
still
time.
refuses to answer my calls.
Madam Abadir, we're not alone.
But pretty much Fionna is using all, like, listening to Flame Prince, using all of her connections to try and save the sweet spot. Which I'm gonna guess maybe by the end of it, like, Fiona's not gonna have her apartment. They're gonna lose the sweet spot. But where the old tree is, because it's just a spotlight behind some buildings, so that I'm gonna go ahead and guess maybe they're gonna make that the new sweet spot where Marshall will be living out of his van. Like, they'll probably have the trailer back there, and then there's going to be another spot where Fionna and Cake are going to be living out. Or at least Fiona's going to be living out, and Cake's going to live still in her apartment, possibly. And I'm maybe Huntress? I don't know. I love Huntress. But again, no. Because that's the thing. I love Huntress with Finn, obviously, is good. And I just feel like it's going to be obviously more Fionna with Hunter. And I honestly can't wait to see when Hunter and Huntress Wizard, like, meet up. But, yeah. This show's great. I like it a lot. I'm loving Huntress Wizard. Yeah. Definitely want to see what's going to happen next. As I always say, I guess. But not always. Some stories I don't want to see next. But this one I do want to see next. Yeah. Also, goddamn, Fionna is, like, muscular in a lot of these. But yeah, I love this a lot. I love the writing for Adventure Time. I love the art style of it all. And Huntress is shot up so high to becoming one of my main favorites. But yeah, thanks for watching. Share videos. Hopefully enjoy this, and we will. See you later. But yeah, pretty much gonna guess they're gonna be living at, like, around the tree at the very least by the very end. Because it does seem like, again, there's so many constants. Like, the Ice Queen or Ice King Simon will always be Marshall's better parent. And I feel like that tree will always be Fionna and Cake's home. So